It is literally very simple. Hey everyone, welcome back to the page. I am Tiara and we are here to talk about the budget, finally. However, before we hop into the budget, go watch the last 5 videos on becoming debt-free. There's a lot of helpful tips, but we're finally to the point where we're going to talk about the budget. But before we jump into the budget, I encourage everyone to do a quick exercise. So if you think by this point, still don't feel like I need to get on a budget, I don't think I'm spending that much money, I'm good the way that I'm doing things. Well, Marcos and I thought the same thing. And so I decided to do an analysis of 6 months of transactions out of my bank account, because like I said in my last video, I only had one account, my main account. And so I looked from January of 2018 all the way through June of 2018 and recorded every single transaction in that account that was for something that was not a necessity. And in this case, I did it specifically for food because that's where all of our extra money was going to. It was eating out. And so I have moved it over to a notebook for you guys, a separate one, just so we can look at 3 months, because I accounted for 6 months. Bunch of information that doesn't need to be in the video, but this gives you an idea of 3 months of this transaction situation. So let's look at this. Okay, so as you guys see here, got January, February, and then I will scroll up so you can see March as well. But I accounted for every transaction that happened that month that had to do with food expenses. And as you see, in the month of January, spent about, not even about, we spent $632.73 on food, eating out. This is not counting our groceries that we're buying as well during that time. And then you get into February, same type of deal. And look at here, $1,330.30. Now if we look at March, same shit, $1,186.99. So I encourage you guys also to do a snap of this. And as you see over on the corner here, I've written out for these 3 months that I've spent an average of $1,050 between January and March extra on food. Okay, so you guys saw that. That was 3 months worth of transactions specifically for food, and we're averaging $1,050 a month extra spending on eating out. You guys need to also note that this is only from my account, not also accounting for if we were to go through Marco's account and look at every single transaction that was for food. So back then, and even now, I'm just like, how the fuck are we doing that? But I literally thought we were probably spending maybe $500 a month at the most, like on eating out, like between the two of us. And as you can see, that is not the case. So we're throwing away over $1,000 every month. Some months a little less than $1,000. Other months, which you guys didn't get to see because I didn't show you the 6 month exercise I did, I just gave you 3 months of it. But some of those months were like almost $1,500 of money going toward food. So we're feeling like we didn't have enough money in the beginning to pay down certain stuff or to put a big chunk toward whatever debt we were paying for at the moment. But it was, we literally had over $1,000 extra that we could have been putting toward a bill to get rid of it, but didn't realize it because we were stuck in, oh, let's go eat out today, not really understanding how much it was actually costing us. So getting to know or understand that part, that we're spending over $1,000 a month, free money, extra money, that could have been going somewhere else that's more useful, was going toward food, and that's it. So if by this point you feel like you don't need a budget, you're bullshitting. So you might as well just stop trying to lie about it. Like, do the exercise and you will see very quickly. It may not be food, it might be coffee, it might be little things here and there if you stop in Target or some shit like that and you just end up buying a bunch of stuff. But in general, you're gonna find out that there's a pattern somewhere with money that you didn't even know you had. You actually have a lot of it, and it's getting thrown away for something that maybe if you just meal prep, then you wouldn't be spending all this money on food. Or if you made your coffee at home, even if you don't want to do it for every single coffee that you drink, but maybe just the first coffee of the day, you only make it at home, and then everything else, if you need to get another one while you're at work, okay, whatever. But it's about trying to make progress where progress can be made, controlling the things that you can control. And food was something that we could control, even if we didn't cut it out 100%. Over $1,000 a month is fucking ridiculous eating out. So yeah, do the exercise. Let me know how it goes. Let me know in the comments how much money you're spending on what every single month, if you feel comfortable doing that. Or just let me know, like, Tiara, I did the exercise and I didn't know that I was buying X so much, or I didn't know that I spent this much money on Starbucks, because I feel like hella people I know me drinking, not necessarily Starbucks, but like Bigfoot Java and all this kind of stuff every day. So I'm just curious to know what everyone else is spending money on. We like to eat. What do you guys like to do? Okay, now that the exercise is aside, let's get into this budget. This is very quick, very straightforward. You can copy how I have this formatted, laid out for you, whatever works for you. But all of these numbers were from back in September of 2018. This is around the beginning when we first started kind of like trying to actually get a budget down, and how we're going to attack our debts from smallest to largest. So let's look at it. So here is the trusty budget. As you guys see here, I just have it broken out by whose debt it is, what the debt is under. So look, like our Alaska card or the Bank of America card, the amount that needs to be paid, and then the projected payoff date. I didn't write these in here because I only had 6 months of information written out as far as like when the projected payoff date was, but it's not something that you need to add to your own table. I just have it and had it then because it was something to look forward to. So like this Alaska one here, the very first one, we had this as a payoff date in November. This one was December. Then we had April. And then these numbers are basically based off of how much money we said that we would be throwing toward each bill each month, and then we projected that here. So let's just say that extra amount of money that we're able to put toward a bill is $600. So that means that here we will be paying $600 at the end of September, and then at the end of October there would be $200 left to pay. So then November, this bill will be crossed off. Then you do the same thing here. So if you had to put $200 toward this at the end of October, that means that you have $400 left over from your overall $600 that you would roll over to this one. And so you would put the $400 to this, then the next time you get paid, you'd put the next $600 on top of it, but actually it'd only be $500. So you put the $500 here, this guy will be paid off, and roll that remaining $100 over to the next bill, and so on and so forth. So after you have the breakdown of your bills, what accounts they are that you need to pay off, the amounts, and then your projected payoff dates. The other thing that's fun about the projected payoff date is if you are able to get a little extra money and pay it off prior to when you had projected, that also feels really good when you have a lot of stuff to pay off and you're just killing it. Like these first few were a lot of fun to pay off because we actually paid them off a lot faster than what we had thought we would be able to pay them off. So after you have this first table here, and as you see, I broke out mine and Marco's student loans, the different section, and that is because we attacked these ones first because all of these were attached to credit cards that had way higher interest rates than our student loans. Marco's car loan was super low, like almost like what a mortgage interest rate would be. And then same thing with our student loans. Anything that was like under a 6% interest rate, we put down here. And so we paid off our credit cards first, and then we went into the student loans in Marco's car. And then you see down here, so after you have your plan of attack as to what bills are getting paid off when and what sequence, then we moved on to getting your bills written out. And the reason why you want to write your bills out is so you understand how much of your paycheck is going to your bills, and then from there, how much is left over. And once you have money left over, then you can say, let's say in this case, I'm going to leave $600 in my account, and the remaining $661 I'm going to throw at whatever bill Marcos and I are working on up here. So you would do the same thing with your bills. Understand the plan of attack, starting at smallest, going down to largest. Understand your monthly bills, how much of your check is being taken by your bills, and what is actually left over for you to utilize to use toward paying off your debt up here in the plan of attack. So I'm going to say $600 each month is what I will throw toward whatever debt we are paying off, and then you redo this each month. So if this guy is gone, let's say November has come and gone, we're here, I still have these same bills down here, but now my $600 is going to be going toward the next bill. And you just do that over and over and over. And as you get more money, add it into this. As you have more money left over, add more into this. So then you can pay off these items quicker. So each month I would write out my bills as well as the plan of attack. So a few days, maybe about a week before I get paid, I would do the same thing. Write out the plan of attack, items smallest to largest, write how much of what is left over from my check is going to be going toward the bill that we were paying off, and just rinse and repeat, literally every month. Or if you are a 2-week person and you need to do this every 2 weeks because you get paid every 2 weeks, you can also do it on that cadence. It's up to you. Since we get paid once a month, I would do it a week before each paycheck, just so I knew as soon as I got paid where everything was going. It's as simple as that. Oh yeah, another thing that I'll repeat if you haven't seen the other videos is that before you get into writing your plan of attack and understanding how much of your leftover money is going to go toward the bill, the smallest bill that you're working on in your plan of attack, you want to use that excess money to build your emergency fund first. So with Dave Ramsey, he will say have $1,000 emergency fund. We were not comfortable with that, which I've already mentioned before. So each one of our accounts had $1,000 in them. So we did that first. So that's $600 that you saw in my notebook that I was going to allot toward that first bill in our plan of attack. Do not jump into the plan of attack until you have your emergency fund. So it could be $1,000, it could be $5,000, whatever makes you comfortable. We were good with 3, and then get to it. So I thought it'd be helpful to put this in here. This was a afterthought. However, this is a snapshot of what our more up-to-date budget looks like. And I always break it out by myself versus Marcos, what we need to pay. And then you have the grand total at the bottom and what's left over. And you see they both add up to $1,000 because $1,000 is our zero. We basically have it set up where every single dollar is accounted for. So when you look at the American Express, my MX3 card, and then also Marcos Alaska signature card, you see there's a balance there that's $765 and $825. This is what I spoke about in a previous video where we were going to be using our designated credit cards in order to pay off our daily expenses. So basically the things that we would be swiping our debit cards with, we were putting it on these 2 specific cards, and we paid these 2 cards to zero at the end of each month. So that is a snapshot of our more up-to-date budget. I hope this is helpful. Another thing to note here versus the one I showed you in the video is that we now have a section for our groceries versus our gas, and also our personal savings and joint savings. And this is because before we weren't really like counting how much money we were putting or paying toward groceries or gas, and we weren't even putting anything in our savings at all. We weren't paying ourselves. So now we have an allotment set up where we pay ourselves. That is our personal savings as well as our joint savings together each month. So that's the main reason why I wanted to put this clip in there, so you could see what we're doing currently today. And we always have our leftover add up somewhere very close to $1,000, since that is our quote unquote zero. Yeah, so if we go a little beyond the $1,000 by give or take $200, we're good, but this is where we like to keep our accounts. So in summary, do a quick exercise to see where your money is going, because you're still going to feel like budget is not necessary when it is. It's still necessary for us, even being debt free. We still have a budget. We still know where everything is going. We still have accounts for specific things. Yes, go watch the series because I talk about all that stuff. But do the exercise, understand where your money is going that are not necessary expenditures every month. Maybe do a 3-month, I did 6 months. From there, you'll understand how much money you actually have left over. And then you want to create your budget, your plan of attack. In addition to that, write out all your bills. So like your light bill, rent, all the other stuff that is outside of the debts that you're working on paying off. See how much money is going to your bills out of your check, whatever is left over. Choose an amount that you're comfortable with allotting to your plan of attack or whichever debt you're paying off at the time. And make sure you put that much money or more every single month toward your plan of attack table until all your debts are paid off. As you get pay increases, make more money, get a second job, whatever it is that is helping you bring in more income, make sure you adjust for that amount that you're going to be putting toward your current debt that you're working to pay off, and just do that until you're done. Like, it is literally very simple. So that is it for this video. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you are on a budget. Let me know in the comments if you feel like budgets are stupid and people do not need them. Whatever. Just engage in the comments. I want to know what everyone's thoughts are around budgeting, budgets, if you've paid off debt and not been on a budget. Yeah, all the good stuff. So we'll catch you guys in the next one, the last one of this series, and thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If you did, please share with someone else.